Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vikralambara Sambodhe Padambo Jayate Namaha. Srila Gaura Kishora Das Babaji was the very personification of Vipralamba, or renunciation. He was born in Bangladesh, near the banks of the Padma River. He was married at a very young age, and while he was still young, his wife died. Of course, from his very birth, he was a completely renounced soul. When he was relieved of this responsibility, he went to Vrindavan and accepted Babaji initiation from one disciple of Sri Jagannath Das Babaji of the name Bhagavad Das Babaji. And there for 30 years he lived in Vrindavan, displaying the highest levels of ecstatic love of Krishna. He was so absorbed in worshipping the holy Dham that when he would be hungry, he would just reach his hand into the Jamuna and get mud, and often he would just eat the mud of the Jamuna. Sometimes he would just eat the dirt, the dust of Vrindavan. He was always absorbed in chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, wandering through the groves of Brajbhumi. But the natural humility of such great devotees is that they never think that they have love of Krishna. He was thinking that if I want to attain love of Krishna, I should come to Navadwip Dham, where all offenses are excused and where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is so benevolently being distributed. So he came to Navadwip Dham. For some time he lived across the Jamuna in the area of Koladwip, in a place called the kuliya dharmashala. And he was so famous as the greatest of all the devotees of the Lord, that people from far and wide were coming to get his darshan and to ask him for blessings. And generally people are looking for material blessings. So he considered it such a disturbance and a waste of the human energy, the human form of life, to associate with materially minded people, that just to avoid them, he would do his bhajan in the bathroom, the lavatory, where people go to pass the stool and urine. And he would lock the door, and very loudly, throughout the day and throughout the night, he would be crying out, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And one time, some government officials who were very much attracted by his bhakti, they said, Babaji, we will give you some land and we will build you a nice ashram and kutir there. And he said, why? He said, I have a very comfortable and nice kutir right here in the lavatory. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And one time a very great king, a Maharaj, he invited Babaji Maharaj, you come and stay with my palace. I have heard you are the greatest of saints. And he said, you should give up your palace, you should give up your family, and you should live under the different trees of Navadwip with me. Then your human life will be perfect. Of course, he never came. Anyway, Srila Gaura Kishora Das Babaji was very much fond of Thakur Bhakti Vinod. They were deep, intimate friends. Although Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a grihasta with 10 children, Gaura Kishora Das Babaji would go to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from him. Through this example, we can understand Bhakti Vinod's beautiful song, Grihe Thako, Vane Thako, Sada Hari Bole Thako. That whether one is in the renounced order of a grihasta, if one completely absorbs one's mind in the holy name, one can attain the perfection of love of God. Gaura Kishora Das Babaji left this world in 1915. But before that, let me say that Bhakti Vinod decided that his son, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who was then Bimala Prasad, should take Diksha from Gaura Kishora. But Gaura Kishore Das Babaji was so humble that he never accepted a single disciple in his life, and he was determined never to do so. Now Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, by material standards, he was not literate. He was a very simple man by material standards. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was the greatest scholar on all the earth. So when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked him for initiation, Gaura Kishore said, "It is not possible. You are so highly qualified. I am so unqualified. How can I be your guru? You should go find some qualified person." Bhakti Vinod Thakur told Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati that you must accept him. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati again and again repeatedly was requesting, but Gaura Kishore Das Babaji said no. Ultimately, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati approached him with tears in his eyes. He said this human form of life is only meant for self-realization. And without a bona fide spiritual master, it's impossible for anyone to attain love of Krishna. If you do not accept me as disciple, then I have no reason to live. I am determined to commit suicide. And Gaura Kishore Das Babaji could see he was speaking from the core of his heart. He was so sincere. So Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji accepted Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati as his disciple. And he never accepted another disciple for the rest of his life. In 1915, when he left this world, there was a controversy. Because when he was in his old age, he publicly said that when I die, you should drag my body through the streets of Navadwip. And when he died, the Babajis and local people were about to do that. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said, "You cannot do. He is my guru." But they were arguing, but it is his order. He said, "My guru's body is so pure. Let any of you Babajis who have not had sex with a woman for the last 1 year come and take his body." Within 1 month, gradually they all started going away. Finally, out of embarrassment, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was alone, because he knew how corrupt these people were. And he picked up his body and made a samadhi there. But then the Ganges was becoming very close as the Ganges was shifting. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati transferred the body of Gaura Kishore Das Babaji to here, where his present samadhi is standing.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.